Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Pharmacypedia. In continuation to our parental series, in this unit part 4, we are going to discuss further about the containers and the closure selection systems, filling and sealing of the ampoules and vials and infusion fluids. So let us first try to understand the container and the closure selection. So when we try to understand the container closure importance for the parenteral product, one can understand that we are dealing here with the parenteral dosage form, which is directly going inside the bloodstream. So one has to be very much particular enough, one has to be very alert while selecting the proper container and closure for the parenteral product. So when we take the decision for the selection of parenteral product container closure system, we have to consider these facts that first we need to understand the characteristics of the drug products, the product which we are going to package out. We need to understand its characteristics, feature, what is the purpose of use. Then we need to understand also the compatibility with the manufacturing equipments and other packaging components. So one has to be sure enough and take into consideration about the characteristics of the drug product, the purpose and the compatibility of the manufacturing equipments and other packaging components. So when we are going to discuss about the characteristics of the drug product. When we are going to package the parental product may be into the liquid form, maybe into the solid form, sterile form, maybe into the form of the infusion fluids. So when we talk about the stability and sensitivity, one can understand that liquid state has poor stability and sensitivity issues. So like solid dosage forms are more stable and they are less sensitive. So like when we are dealing with this characteristics of the drug product, we need to understand the stability and the sensitivity of the drug product, since they are very crucial and needs to be considered in selection of the appropriate container components for the drug product. So like for the drug products which cannot be sterilized by the terminal sterilization and hence manufactured by the aseptic processor. So like there are technologies I told in the previous session also, like blow fill seal technology, BFS we call it, whereby the container is immediately formed and it is being filled out and it is being sealed out at the same time. So in that case we don't need to sterilize them prior. But about those dosage formed in parenterals, for example, whereby we are using the sterile powders before going for the filling process, we have to ensure that the container and the closure which we have selected should be previously sterilized. So all the container closure components of the system have to be individually sterilized. They have to be depyrogenated and monitored for the bioburden before use with the drug product. So traditionally tubular vials are preferred over the molded vials during lyophilization process, because the flat bottom of the vials helps in the uniform heat transfer from the freeze drying shelves to the product. So like when we consider the container enclosure, we have to see the dosage form, whether it is into the liquid form, whether it is into the solid form. If it is into the liquid form, we have to consider the stability and the sensitivity of the drug product. Moreover, we need to understand the bioburden, what kind of the process is going to be adopted for filling, whether it is terminal sterilization or like we need to sterilize the containers before actual filling operation. Then comes the purpose of use, whether we are considering the lyophilized product, whether we are considering the liquids. So traditional tubular vials are preferred over the molded vials during lyophilization process. So moreover, the containers require partial stopping during the lyophilization process. Stoppers used also vary from general liquid product. So when we consider about the containers, we have to give equally importance to the closure part also. Most of the time the closure parts are made up of the rubber. So it contains again polymers and it has to be taken care of that. Third comes the machinability compatibilities. Whatever container, whatever closure we have selected, we have to ensure that it is compatible with the manufacturing equipment. It is compatible for the viable commercialization of the product. So components which are at the very high risk of interaction with the manufacturing parts are suitably processed to enhance their machinability. So this compatibility is very much important when we are thinking for the commercial productions. For instance, toppers with the silicone coatings are usually employed to reduce the friction with the manufacturing parts, and they also help in efficient sealing of the container systems. So we have to be very much particular and understand the importance that our container enclosure should not interact with the machine part. They should be highly compatible, and compatibility with the each of them should be also there. So like this is a major consideration in the selection of the container closure components. Moreover, beside analyzing the product diagrams and engaging the vials, stoppers, manufacturers in the decision-making process helps in selection of the right combination of the drug products. So therefore, sometimes the blowback designs for the vials and stoppers have to be considered to ensure effective sealability. So container closures have to be sealed down very properly. So we need to evaluate at the finalized container closure system for the drug product for its safety. Safety is of very important. Various physicochemical and biological tests are conducted to ensure the safety of the drug product. So the requirements are more stringent for the biological parenteral products, for which containers are used for storage or shipping of the bulk drug product. So when we can understand for the biological parenterals, we need to be much careful and alert. Next, we move on to the sealing of the ampules and filling of the ampules. So once the proper container closure system have been selected out, next step is the filling. So the measured precise amount of the liquid needs to be filled from the small orifice into the container. So the size of the delivery tube is governed by opening in the container to be used, the viscosity and the density of the fluid, and the speed of the delivery. The three things are very important: the rate at which it is being transferred, moreover the consistency of the product, how much viscous it is or how much dense it is. It will govern the commercial viability. So the tube must freely enter the neck of the container and deliver the liquid deep enough to permit the air to escape without sweeping the entering liquid into the neck. So filling machine parts should be constructed for non-reactive materials such as borosilicate, glass, or stainless steel. The solutions which is to be filled into the bottle is actually done by the help of the gravity process or by the pressure or vacuum filling device. So powders such as antibiotics are more difficult to subdivide accurately, and therefore they need to be filled into the individual dose containers, and the container should be sealed in the aseptic area in immediately adjacent to the filling machine. So beside the filling area comes the sealing area, and it has to be sealed out very well. Emulsions and suspensions require special designing, filling of the equipments because of their high viscosity. So it is very obvious that a sterile container that has been opened can no longer be considered to be sterile. Therefore, temperature-proof sealing is very much required. So ampules may be closed by either melting a portion of the glass of the neck to form either a tip seal or pull seal method. You must have seen in the lab that we use the tip seal of points whereby we bring the ampule close to the heating surface and we rotate it, the glass gets melted down, and then we see when with the help of a tip we seal it, and with a pull seal method. So they are made by melting sufficient glass at the tip of the ampule neck to form a bead of glass and close the openings. So pull seals are made by heating the neck or rotating ampule below the tip and then pulling the tip away to form a small twisted capillary just prior to being melted closed. So excessive heating of the air and gases in the neck causes expansion against the soft glass with the formation of fragile bubbles at the point of seal. Sometimes this may happen that you may notice that there are fragile bubbles at the point of the sealing. These are the vials that they are generally being used for the single dose or multi-dose use. The product is very easy to be removed from these vials and from the ampules. They also eliminate the risk of the glass particle contamination during opening. So sometimes it may happen that when you try to open down the ampule, the glass may go inside the container. So to avoid that risk, these vials are being preferred. The rubber stoppers can become cold, causing a small bit of rubber to enter the solution, especially in the multi-dose uses. So this is the infusion fluid. Intravenous fluids in the form of the small volume parenterals or large volume parenterals in different capacities are being used for the fluid therapy. Parenteral fluid therapy usually involves the intravenous administration of the crystallized solutions or the blood products to be transfused, the choice of the fluid, the amount of the fluid infused, and the rate of infusions are certainly determined by the kind of the therapy being used. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates. Stay tuned. Stay happy.